Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing this June the 19th, 2025, early afternoon altcoin video update. But something we have to show you, an old tornado struck just east, about 2 miles east of Vincenzo's compound yesterday afternoon while we were at work. You can see the touchdown there by the railroad tracks going over Grossbeck Highway. So that's something that we don't see every day in the great state of Michigan, and especially that local to my local house being actually right there where the tornado happened, which is very crazy. And then a friend actually seen it forming. You can see it right there, see it spinning. He only took an 8-second video, but this was about 5 minutes before touchdown and about 2 miles to the east or to the west southwest of where the touchdown was. And you can see it swirling there in the upper levels, the winds turning with heights. And about 2 miles later down the road, it did touch down. But that's very interesting, a little bit of thing that happened to me. But this altcoin update, it's going to have to be very brief because I got to get back in. AMP is obviously down again, and some would say because AMP's always down. But what I think is going on here, if we zoom out to the longer time frame, if we actually go into the weekly, we have this huge crash, this huge flush, this huge loss of money from back here at 12 cents when it came out in 2021. It had this big collapse and essentially straight down with a minor brief window where it pumped, but other than that, consistently down for 2.5 years. Then we had the big wake up rally at the end of 23 going into the springtime of 24 where crypto started to wake up. Then it had the consolidation like the rest of crypto. Then it had a pump with crypto, but it didn't break anywhere near its old high like some of these altcoins did, or even breach one of the rare coins that didn't even breach the early spring high. And then it came back down and it's consolidated. And the reason that I think it did, because I've been no bones about it back here and back there. I've been saying I thought we would get to the 0.025 and to the 0.059 at minimum, if not going up higher, and we haven't come close. And I think that's because we needed a longer consolidation like we're seeing now to break out to get here. We needed to wake up, consolidate, build a new base, build a new structure, build new holders to make a big enough push to explode up and to break this downturn once and for all like some of these other coins. So I think we just needed a longer consolidation, which is healthy, to have a more sustained rally instead of just a straight up and a straight down. We have a mid-ground consolidation now, and I think we will after we break out of this pattern where you could say this is your pole, this is your horizontal flag, and then the point of a breakout of that would actually be way up here. But the initial breakout would at least get you to the 0.25 or into the bottom part of this green resistance box, right? But I still think we're going to end up there. You can see where our critical slightly uptrending support is, where you got support back here, and now support back here again. It's clear upper resistance. You can see the two hits. So that's what I'm watching out for in the AMP right now. The ALGO is the same thing as what we talked about the other day. Let's delete that. I don't want that on there. And delete this malarkey over there. Is we got rejected off of the critical. ALGO is the same thing where we were at. You can see we got rejected by the 22 cents, or the top part of this resistance box up here when we talked about it, when we fell through it back through January, where we thought it would come through there, and it did. And we were talking about 10 cents as our underneath target when we were way back up here at 43, 44 cents. Now we're still below the 20 cents, which is critical, because now you're most likely to come at least go to the 14 cents, maybe a slight bounce, but all indications, unless you can quickly turn around and get back above this 20 cents, you're coming back to this 10 cent level, unfortunately, just like you did back here after you had your first run up. See the run up, and then you came all the way actually back down in the wick before the Donald Trump rally run up right there, right? Let's get rid of that. Didn't want to do that. We want to do that, and then we want to move on because we got to go. Same thing with the XCN. I've made no bones about it. We've been thinking this was coming down. We told you not to buy into this overhyped right here on the way up, and we laid out, if you watched the videos when we were down there, the resistance points and how this would break back to the downside, and it's following it to a T. If we go into the weekly time frame, you can see we're below now, considerably below this 14 cents, or the top part of this purple resistance box, and we're on the 200-day moving average in the daily time frame. And once we break this 200-day, you'll see this flop straight down to the 0.00795, or the major underneath support, because that's how these boxes work. They come straight through them on the upside, and they come straight through them back on the downside. You can see straight through it on the downside, and on the two upsides, you can see on the two upsides right here, it went straight through vertically both of these zones that time, straight through the zone off the support that time, and it'll drop straight back through. And what might happening is we're going to, in this step down fashion, we're going to do this. And then your next step down would be all the way back down here, right? And then it might bounce like that. And I think we're in a step down fashion still to the downside. And we're more than likely coming to the 00795 in the immediate short term. The XDC is coming to our 0.04163 technical target that we drew out and diagnosed and sniffed out this head and shoulders in XDC back when the price was way up here in January, right? We told you we put that target right there. And now you can see how close we are. We're about to breach this double bottom, and when we do that, you'll flush very, very quickly down to the technical target, as will DGB, which was the same thing, same technical analysis, head and shoulders, technical move, and we broke it down that we were coming here, and now we're below the 00837, which is a critical support, and as long as we're below that, you'll flush quickly down to that technical target. Like the channel, subscribe, peace and love. Direct side, bro. Jade.